On election day and during early voting, voters visit their local polling location in order to voice their vote for the upcoming election. It can be a very busy time. In Wakulla County, we use an electronic poll book and a direct print printer in order to check in and check the voters' eligibility and provide them the ballot for them to vote. It's a quick and simple process and one that we're going to go over with you in order to assist your voter. As an election worker, our important task is to verify voter eligibility. They must tell us who they are, and they also have to verify that they live where they say they live. In order for them to verify that they are who they say they are, they provide a picture and signature ID. We must verify the picture and then compare the signature on the electronic poll book with the signature on the identification. And the electronic poll book has their voter record information on file, including their address. The voter is given the opportunity to see the address that we have on file and verify it. Once they sign, they're signing an oath that the information on file is correct. The residential address is important. It's their residential address that provides them the ballot they're about to receive and ensures the races that they're eligible for. So in short, what makes them eligible is that they are who they say they are, they live where they say they live. And we check that by looking at their identification and using the electronic poll book. The electronic poll book will do all the work for you. So let's look at the first step, the identification. In the state of Florida, there are several different types of identifications that a voter can use to prove that they are who they say they are. Most voters will give you their Florida driver's license or their Florida ID card, which has been issued by the Department of Highway and Safety. Another thing to consider is that not all of these identifications have a signature. A voter does need to provide a signature and photo ID, so some of these identifications can be used together to meet that requirement. And just some important tips. Remember, more than one type of ID is okay. If the voter comes in and they have no identification, please refer them to the clerk. The clerk will provide them a provisional ballot, which they'll sign and turn into the supervisor's office. Also, the identifications must be valid, meaning an expired driver's license is not a valid identification. So when a voter enters your polling location, greet them and ask for their photo signature ID. Most voters will give you their driver's license, and your driver's license is scannable by your electronic poll book. Place it face down on the platform. Then press the yellow button on either side of the tablet to pull up the voter's information. This is what the voter information screen looks like. It provides the name, address, date of birth, the precinct, and asks you, is the name and address for the voter correct? Look at the driver's license or other identification. Is the name and address correct? If the address is not correct, it's all right to let the voter know that the address we have on file is different so that we can verify which one is correct and whether or not they need to do an address change. This screen will also provide you any information that you need to know about the voter, such as whether they need assistance, and if you've pulled up the wrong voter, it's okay. Touch wrong voter and go back home to try again. If you do not have a driver's license or it's not readable, touch Voter Check-in Search in the middle of the screen. This will allow you to do a manual search for the voter by birth date or by last name. Birth date is usually the best way to try to find somebody. So review the voter's record. Take a notice of the address and information that's on their driver's license. Is that the person standing in front of you? The other thing you'll want to note is if there's any special messages. We'll go over special messages in a moment. If everything is correct, touch Yes to continue processing your voter. Once you touch Yes, your screen will turn upside down. Turn the screen toward the voter and ask them to verify the information. If the information is correct, the voter should touch Yes. With the screen still toward the voter, ask the voter to please sign in. Once they have completed signing in, they should touch OK, and then you can turn the screen back toward you. Now you can review the signature on the screen with the signature on the identification. Is it close? Remember, you're not a signature expert, so look for something similar. If you need to, you can always clear the signature and ask the voter to try one more time. Once you've accepted the signature, the voter pass will print. Along with the voter pass, the ballot will also print. Once the ballot prints, compare it with the voter pass and then provide that ballot to the voter along with a privacy folder. Now the voter will go to the privacy booth. They'll vote, and then once they've completed their voting, they'll insert their ballot into the tabulator. Then they get the coveted I voted sticker and leave a very happy voter. Unless the voter needs assistance, they should be in the privacy booth alone in order to mark their choices. Once they have completed marking their ballot and reviewing their selections to make sure everything is correct, they should take their ballot to your tabulator. Once at the tabulator, they simply insert the ballot in any direction, front or back, or upside down. Once the ballot has been accepted, they receive a thank you for voting note and an I voted sticker. So let's take a moment to look at how to do a manual voter search. The voter check-in search is done by the big blue button in the middle of your screen. Simply touch the button in order to provide a screen for you to look up a voter. And this is a search screen. You can either look for a voter by date of birth, last name, first name, or middle name. Date of birth, however, is the best way to try to find a voter. If your identification doesn't have a date of birth on it, it's okay to ask the voter what their date of birth is so that you can look them up. Simply type in the month, day, and last 2 digits of the year and touch search. You can also do a search by last name. If your search criteria meets more than one voter, you'll see a grid like this one. You'll need to be very careful and make sure that you touch the right person if confronted with more than one choice. If the voter lets you know that the information is incorrect, touch No. When you touch No, that lets the voter registration system know that an update is needed. This window will pop up, noting that we need to refer that person to the clerk in order to update their voter information. And this ticket will print. Provide this to the voter and refer them to your clerk. If a voter was mailed a vote-by-mail ballot, this window will appear. It lets you know that the voter has been issued a vote-by-mail ballot and asks you if you want to issue them a voter pass. You always say yes. When you do that, that will void the vote-by-mail and allow the voter to check in with you and vote. We want to provide you as much information as possible in order to better assist the voters. Because of that, there are some special messages that might pop up that we want to make you aware of. One of the more common messages is an inactive voter. An inactive voter is simply a voter that we need to verify their address. We have mailed them some information and it's been returned to us by the post office. For this person, we just want to verify that the address that we have on file is correct, but if it's not, you'll want to press No so that we can update the information for the voter at the clerk's table. Some voters may need assistance during the voting process. If they have requested that assistance, you'll see eligible for assistance on their voter information. If a voter is eligible for assistance, simply ask them how can you assist them today. They may bring somebody with them to assist, or they may need you and another person to assist them. Either way, it's okay to let the clerk know that a voter needs assistance in order to provide them the best service. If a voter is ineligible will be noted in red on the top right of their file. This means a voter, for some reason, there's something that is making them ineligible for this particular election, and it could be a variety of different reasons. If you see ineligible, still go ahead and verify the information for the voter, and a Refer to Clerk ticket will print. Once the clerk has that person in front of them, they're able to better see what is needed in order to better help the voter, or we'll call our office in order for us to help them as well. If a voter status is pending, That simply means there's more information that we need to receive from the voter. This voter will be sent to your clerk, and your clerk will need to contact our office. When a voter registers, the information that they provide on the voter registration form is sent to the state. The state needs certain information, and if that information is incorrect or missing, the status will remain pending until the voter is allowed to be able to provide the information to complete their registration. If the voter is challenged, somebody has completed a note to challenge stating that there's something about this voter's record that they feel is incorrect. This is very, very rare. If a voter is challenged, the oath will be provided to the clerk, and the person will be allowed to review the oath. The voter will then be offered the opportunity to vote by provisional ballot. If the voter has voted early, this message will appear. In this instance, Jonathan has been noted as voted already in this election. If the voter contends that they did not, or this is an error, please refer to the clerk, and the clerk will provide the voter a provisional ballot. And this is the message that will appear if we have received a vote by mail ballot from John T. Smith. In this instance, we have received the vote by mail, and he has already voted in this election. The voter can do a provisional ballot at this point. And this is the message that you'll see if it's already been noted that J. Lee Smith has already voted on election day. In this case, please refer the person to the clerk so that they may vote a provisional ballot. This could have been a mistake, and a provisional ballot does allow us a couple of days to research to make sure that we have properly processed this voter. And if we've already noted that this voter has already voted provisionally, then that will be noted as well. Again, refer the voter to the clerk so that we can do a provisional ballot for the voter to see exactly what happened with their file. No matter what the incident, a voter can vote a provisional ballot. We want to be sure that the voter votes a provisional before they leave. We just don't want them to walk out the door. A provisional ballot does allow a voter the opportunity to complete a ballot, and it gives us the opportunity to do research to make sure we didn't make a mistake. Voting is an essential right, and you're an essential part of that process. We can't thank you enough for all you do for the citizens of our great county. Again, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you on Election Day.